I tend to do a lot of one take videos where I just hit record and I go for it. And I see comments where people are like, man, I'd really love to be able to do a one take. I just don't know that I can. So I thought in this video, I would share kind of the pros and cons and some tips if you really want to just like hit the record and just go for it. By the way, if we haven't met, my name is Kevin Colby, and this channel is all about helping people over 40 make an impact with video, especially on YouTube. Now, there are a lot of pros and cons to doing a one-take video, and I'm going to do my best to do this in one take just to prove it can be done. One of the pros is, you get in a zone, and it's like, man, I'm into the content, and I'm going, and I don't want to stop down. What I call stopping down, which is just fancy talk for pausing and hitting record, pausing, hitting record, or stop, or whatever you need to do. There's something to be said about that, about where you're just kind of in that zone and going with it. It also can help just get your thoughts going. Like, you don't want to stop and think about this. You want to just kind of keep going as well. Now, some of the cons, you may have a much longer file depending on how long your video is. So let's say that you've got a 30-minute presentation and you can talk for 30 minutes straight, just using that as an example. That's going to be a big file. Even if you're not shooting it in 4K, it's still going to be a big video file. So that is one con to it. And then also, if you decide to edit, you've got one long file. However, let's say you just went 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes. It's still more editing to do and going through there. Now, there's some other tricks and things you can do that. So if you really want to dive into the world of one take, which I love, then here's some tips. One is script it. Now, I mean literally, write out everything you're going to say. And I see some people do this, and they are phenomenal at it. I have written scripts in the past when I was in television, and we had to write scripts for our promos or commercials or even programs. I don't tend to script. I'm not a big fan of scripting, but if you need to script it, you can script it. Now, I've also seen this question, what do I think about teleprompters? If you use a prompter, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I would recommend the Elgato prompter. I actually have it. I don't use it much, but I do have it, and it's really cool. It's kind of like having a second screen. The disadvantage to having a prompter is if you're not used to using a prompter, you can come off as if you're reading to me. Like right now, I'm not reading. I have some notes, but I'm not reading to you. I'm talking, what do you call it? Expert. I'm just talking off the top of my head. So you can do that. But if you're not used to reading off a prompter, you could come across as just reading. And I think the more I know I relate more to more authenticity. So just think about that. But if you need to script it, script it. Another option is bullet points. Now, I do this quite a bit. I've actually got some bullet points for this video, is that I write out some notes and then I tend to speak off of that, especially if I'm working with a client or something like that. I know a sponsored video, there's some certain things I need to say in there. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's actually nothing wrong with any of this. But if you need bullet points to help you go through, that might help you kind of get your thoughts a little bit more in your noggin, so you can just kind of spit it out that way as well. Another option is treat it as live. Now, I'm doing the little air quotes as live because I mean go into it thinking I'm going live even if you're not. It's kind of, think of it this way. When I used to work in television, I mean, we would do hours and hours of live news every day, and you were live. So there's a different kind of way your brain reacts is if you realize this is live. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I can't go back if I make a mistake. So if you kind of get in that mindset of I'm going to treat this as if it's live, and I'm just going to go with it, mistakes and all, that may help you kind of get more in the groove of just talking. And another thing is just limit distractions. I mean, turn on focus on your phone. Shut the door. Tell your family, hey, I'm recording a video, leave me alone, just so you can stay in that groove. Also depends on where you are. If you're not used to being on camera, you may not want to try this at a crowded coffee shop. Maybe you want to. But the more you can limit the distractions, the more you can stay focused on your message. And ultimately, if you end up doing a long take, you can always edit it in pieces and parts. So you can pause, and that can be an edit. You can do your wave your hand, and that can be an edit. So there's still a way to do this as a long take. In fact, I keep looking at my battery. I'm afraid my battery's going to run out here, and then I won't be able to honor the I did this in one take. So if it just ends, it's going to end. But you can do a little section, talk, stop, a little section, stop, a little section, and stop, and still do it all in one take. So I hope this helps you do a one take. I'd love to hear the comments if this helps you. If you start doing it, what did you think? I really hope this helps you. Check out some of the videos coming up next, and remember to just keep creating and share your gifts with the world. I'm Kevin. Oh, I made it. See you in the next video. It's not out. It's not out. It may be going out. I don't